Hello, my friends. As summer comes to an end, I thought I'd take you on an adventure to a place in Germany that translates directly to Angry Land. Join me as we explore the German region of Sauerland and discover what it has to offer. We'll cross one of Europe's longest suspension bridges, embark on a scenic e-bike ride, and visit all the popular spots this beautiful area has to offer. But before we head out, I would like to quickly thank this video's sponsor, which is 3W Liners. They were kind enough to send me a set of their Tesla mats, and I promised to quickly give my honest thoughts on these. For full transparency, I only accepted this review as the mats they sent me have snap-on carpets, as it is the one thing that I find to be an absolute must for car floor mats. It just gives a much better look when fitted, rather than full rubber mats that tend to always look kind of dirty unless you pressure wash them frequently. As I'm also familiar with other floor mat brands, as well as the original Tesla rubber mats, I'm in a quite good position to confidently say that the rubber on these is far superior than any other mats I've tried and seen. My old mats for comparison felt a lot more like plastic, where these new feel much more like rubber. A major gripe I also had with my old trunk mat was that I had to move it to side in order to lift up the trunk plate to reach the lower area. And for a strange reason, I still see many other brands not making this simple hole to put the hatch through. It's a small but actually very important thing. Here you can see my old mats, which I've had for 35,000 kilometers. They've started to have a bit of wear, and by a direct comparison to these new ones, I can attest that the carpets on the 3W liners is much thicker and of a better quality. The fitment of the floor mats is excellent too. There are no gaps and the entire footwell's nicely wrapped in, ensuring that no water or dirt is going to spill over. This is especially important for someone travelling with a family on board, as my goodness, a couple of kids in the back can make a very big mess, very quickly. And that's the reason why I love floor mats like these. I can simply snap out the carpets when we have kids in the back, and then they can make as big a mess as they want to. I actually purposely left the previously shown mess in the car for 2 weeks, as I wanted to see how well these mats can get cleaned up. So here we go, 2 weeks of mess in a hot car and a small battery-powered pressure washer. After a quick spray down and wiping it down with a towel, it's back to looking as good as new. And that's really the great thing about these dual-purpose mats. You can have the more stylish look with the carpets added, or you can take them off and not worry about getting things inside dirty. So yeah, if you're looking for a new set of floor mats, I can definitely recommend these. Especially the trunk and front mats are miles better than what I had before. I'll put a direct link in the description, and in case of discounts or special offers, I'll also put that information down there. Now let's get on with our trip and start packing. I have to say, the Model 3's trunk never stops amazing me. It's almost baffling how much we've managed to pack. A small suitcase tucked into the lower compartment, a stroller, another full-size suitcase, and a huge backpack with an aluminum frame for carrying the kid on hikes. We've also fit in both a large and a small cooler, a fruit bowl, a weekender bag, and another weekender filled with kids' gear, and we still haven't touched the frunk. Incredible. The place we're going to in Sauerland is called Willingen, and it's actually quite a notorious place for partygoers. Germans even call it the Mallorca of Germany. For those that aren't aware, Mallorca also has a reputation as a major party hotspot, particularly among German visitors. I'm afraid there won't be much of that for us on this trip. We might sneak in a beer or two, but this time our plan is strictly sightseeing. And what better way to immerse ourselves in nature than by riding an e-bike through the forests and hills of this Willingen and the surrounding areas. Willingen might be known for its largest ski jumping hill in the world, but in the warmer months it transforms into a cyclist's paradise. Dense spruce forests and ridgelines that seem to roll on forever. This place is made for 2 wheels. You'll even come across these water treading pools that are used to stimulate circulation, help cool the body, and are often found along hiking trails in nature parks here in Germany, and they can be used free of charge. And after a few kilometers of riding through the forest, we've arrived at the ski jump I showed earlier. Once per year, the Ski Jumping World Cup is held here. To the left of the jump, you'll see the Skywalk, which is one of Europe's longest suspension bridges, and if you're not afraid of heights, you can cough up €11 and take a walk across it. While I would recommend it for the experience, I have to point out again that you really should not have any fear of heights, as not only are you suspended high above the ground, but the whole bridge is also swaying quite heavily. So we did see a couple of people being very frightened because of that. The views from up here are absolutely incredible. We really lucked out with the weather too. Just over 20 degrees Celsius, nearly cloudless skies, and perfect visibility to soak in the scenery all around us. But you know what? We didn't come here to stand around all day. In the summer season, you'll find hundreds of bike trails surrounding the area, so let's check those out. One thing that really disappointed me was forgetting the mounting screw for my GoPro. I'd planned to capture some great first-person footage of the trails, but that went out the window. Instead, I had to film with one hand while riding. A bit of a disaster, since my free hand was also on the front brake. Let's just say balance isn't easy on a bike trail when you're riding one-handed. I will say though that it is a lot of fun, especially when you've got both hands on the handlebar. And with an e-bike, even the uphill trails are a blast, almost as exciting as the downhill ones. It's just a really great way to get some exercise, enjoy nature and have a lot of fun at the same time. And a short while later we've made it to the top of Ettelsberg, and wow, the view is worth every pedal. From up here you get a full panorama of the Sauerland. Mountain bikers launch from trails up here, hikers set off in every direction, and in winter, this whole area transforms into a ski playground. And the small lake you see here is actually what is feeding the snow cannons with water during winter. If you're not on an e-bike or up for the hike, you can always take the cable car to the top. It's one of the area's most popular spots for visitors to relax, enjoy the views, and for many, to celebrate with a few drinks. When I say a few drinks, I'm being generous. Plenty of visitors head back down barely able to stand, some practically tumbling down the hill. I'm not exaggerating. Ettelsberg is a full-on party hotspot, a favourite for German Schlager fans, and the entire area has that lively, festival vibe. And this happens pretty much every weekend, also in winter. And because it's one of the few places in Germany where you can ski, it stays just as busy in winter as it does in summer. We'll maybe revisit it in winter and show you the ski part of it all. For now, it's time to get back on some bike trails and record some one-handed action. These trails are a cyclist's dream, pure joy from the first pedal stroke. An e-bike makes it easy to switch from a gentle cruise to a steady climb going up technical trails. There are also flow trails going downhill, but I think being on an e-bike gives you the best of both worlds. You can ride for hours without ever feeling rushed. Just you, the trail, and the sound of tyres humming over gravel. For those feeling a bit more adventurous, there's also a proper bike park with dedicated downhill tracks. Just like Willingen hosts a ski jumping World Cup in winter, it even has a World Cup level track for downhill biking. As we cruised down one of the easier tracks, we were reminded just how fast and sometimes dangerous these trails can be. Unfortunately, someone had an accident, and later we even saw them being airlifted by helicopter. They were conscious as we passed, so hopefully it wasn't too serious. But don't worry, you can have an incredible day here even without chasing adrenaline. Just take in the views on this ride. It's truly a breathtaking scenery that's surrounding this place. I'm pretty sure that when people think of central Germany, places like this don't come to mind, and I certainly hadn't considered them myself. Exploring these hidden spots is a real treat, offering a vibe completely different from, say, something like a city trip to Berlin. Honestly, I'd recommend people visiting here instead, but I also am not the greatest fan of Berlin. Maybe we'll go there in the next episode to check it out. And as we cruise past my car to return the rental bikes, it's time to wrap up this episode. I hope you've enjoyed a glimpse of a different side of Germany, and who knows, maybe it's sparked your curiosity to come see it for yourself. And if you want to see us go on a Model 3 camping trip, then subscribe to catch the next video as we check out the German city of Leipzig and overnight at one of the nearby lakes to see how and why so many people go camping in their Teslas. Thanks once again to 3W Liners for sponsoring this video. If you're looking for high-quality floor mats, be sure to check them out using the link in the description. And that's it from me, gentlemen. Hope to see you again in the next one. Cheers.